Party people, what's good? I've been waiting a little while to say that. I missed saying that. Welcome to the Wake and Rake podcast, the first ever episode of the Wake and Rake podcast. Hopefully the first of many. And as always, I bring in my guest, the World Series champion, Boston Red Sox, Texas Rangers, San Diego Padre. The list goes on and on. Will Middlebrooks, what's popping, my dude?
Dude, fired up. Opening day, baby. We're here.
April 1st.
And we're going to get somewhat of a normal season, it appears. It looks like we're going to get 162. Manfred came out and said, hey, maybe we're going to have full stadiums later this year. We know Texas is doing it. They don't care. That's the Wild West. They don't give a shit.
Texas don't give a shit. Texas is like, yeah, come on in.
Come on in. Park your horse out front.
That's your hometown, bro.
That's my people, though. That's my people. I'm fired up. And if you're playing in Texas, that's awesome because you go from nobody in the stands to a full pack stadium. Nothing better. I'm fired up.
So we'll talk opening day. Brooksy's going to give his best bets. It'll be Brooksy's best bets. Yes, I came up with that name all by myself. We'll talk best bets. We'll give our predictions. We'll go division by division. We're going to go coast to coast, east to west, central division, west coast, east coast. We'll do it all. MVP picks. We're not going to only give our picks because we know we're geniuses and we know that every pick we give is going to be correct, but we'll talk about some of the best bets too. We're giving
definitely going to be some value picks. Maybe not, we're not going to just be chalky here. It's easy to say, oh, DeGrom, Cole, Mike Trout. Come on, man. That's not fun. We want you to be able to throw $10 on something and make a couple $100 off it. So
quick news rundown. Did you notice the Angels rebuilt their bullpen in the last 48 hours, just right before opening day? They just all of a sudden added Tony Watson and a couple other guys to their bullpen. Like, that's kind of crazy. Just all of a sudden right before
under the radar too, right? Like,
there
wasn't really much publicity about it, but we know they need arms. They have the offense.
Angels are a sleeper team, man. Let's start in the AOS.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about. We're already talking about the Angels. Let's talk about the Angels. Talk about the A's, Astros, Mariners, and we already mentioned the sloppy Rangers. But so who's your division winner for American League West? Let's start it out.
Houston.
Yeah,
I like Houston. I think Greinke has a good year. I think I like Ryan Presley in the closer spot, and more than anything, I like their lineup.
Yeah,
battle tested. Yordan Alvarez is back. 2019 Rookie of the Year. We know he's going to hit 40 homers. Hopefully, hit 40 homers. That's what they're thinking. I mean, his pop is outrageous. He's got touch power, is what we call it, like Judge, Stanton. Remember Chris Carter? He was one of my ex-teammates. He had some of the most. Yeah, but dude, he swung hard, but he just swung in the same spot every time. In case you threw it there, and he would hit it 600 feet.
He hit a ball at O.Co Coliseum. I don't think I've seen a ball travel further than he hit this ball. This ball was it was a night game in Oakland, which is a shitty place to hit. Dude, at night game in Oakland.
That's where fly balls go to die.
Ball, the press box, what they used for the football stadium, where it used to be the football stadium down in center field. This ball went over the press box, over a center. Like, it was mad.
I remember Cespedes hit one off like the facade, like the front of it, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I remember the one you're talking about with Chris. That was crazy. But anyways, I like Houston. All right. I think the over-under was set for them at 88 wins. And I say over. I think they win 90 games. I think they win the division at 90, 91 games. And I think Oakland's on their tail. I think the Angels are much more competitive this year.
Okay.
I do. I think Ohtani is in the MVP conversation. I don't think he wins MVP, but he's in the conversation. I think he pitches well. I think he hits 20, 25 homers. And is still in the conversation to be a two-way player once his season's over with.
Okay. You mentioned the A's, and you mentioned the over-under for the Astros, obviously. What about over-under for the A's at 86.5? This is according to William Hill, by the way. William Hill.
I got him over.
Yeah.
I got him like a game and a half behind Houston.
I think the A's are taking the division, and it's nothing against Houston. I think Oakland's been waiting a long time for this. I'm expecting Jesus Luzardo. That's my AL Cy Young pick, by the way. Jesus Luzardo is going to take on that ace role, and the A's are going to make some noise this year.
He needs to.
They don't have anybody else, frankly, to be an ace. They have other pitchers. Chris Bassett's very underrated. He's going to be pitching opening day for him.
Manaea's a good arm, too.
Manaea's a good arm, too, but to be an ace is a whole nother platform, and I think...
Right, your ace... I mean, Chris Bassett's good, and he's really good at the Coliseum. He's really He's good in that stadium. I mean, a lot of pitchers are good in that stadium, but he's not an ace in my mind. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe because it's not a household name, but I feel like Luzardo is the guy, and he's got the stuff to be an ace. I agree with that, and I think this is a big year for him to get over that hump and become that guy.
So before we move on to another division, anybody else making noise in the AL West?
Making noise?
I mean, the Angels are going to be sneaky.
I think Joey Gallo hits a ton of home runs. Like
Yeah.
a ton. Like that's the best thing that happens.
That's a bold prediction. Joey Gallo is going to hit a lot of homers this year.
I think his averages will be higher than normal too. I think he has a really, really good year.
I think that stadium plays a factor too. By the way,
that stadium's massive.
Speaking of Globe Life, the Dodgers still have more home runs at Globe Life Field than the Texas Rangers do. Fun fact.
That's a joke, dude. Yeah, that'll change. Don't worry. That
Just
place is it plays big, dude. I wonder if it's going to be one of the places where they have to move the fences in a little bit.
like Petco did a couple of years ago, San Francisco did last year. Yeah, that's well. Like, why do you make a ballpark that you already know is too big?
Because people who build ballparks aren't baseball players.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just balls. I don't know if it's like with the roof open, is it fly better? Is when it's closed, is it different? It could do something with the air in there.
So we've talked about
literally air conditioned. Like the air can shift.
Right. Well, we talk about best stadiums all the time. You always mention Angel stadiums when your favorite. What was the worst stadium you've ever played in? It could be for various reasons. Is it Oakland?
It's in the big leagues, Oakland.
What about Tampa?
I like Tampa better than Oakland. Just for the facility was better. The clubhouse was nice. There was a batting cage to use.
Yeah.
There wasn't 50 yards of foul ground to hit. Normally you hit a ball that's 20 rows deep in the landing in the dipping dot stand, but now Matt Chapman's diving on the tarp and catching it. You're like, come on, dude. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of things that play against players liking the Coliseum. Yeah. We've talked in the past to Ramon Laureano, and he said he agrees with me. It's an advantage, definite home field advantage for those guys.
Let's move to the AL Central. This is my AL pennant pick. I've been preaching this. Come on now.
Why do you think I wore these colors?
Is that Michael Jordan? Is that Jordan t-shirt?
These colors, black, white, and gray.
I thought you were just feeling sad today.
No, it's my White Sox colors.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just sad. It's sad, you know.
Are you colorblind? Even if you're colorblind, this should look the same.
Black is a very sad color. Like if you wear black, like my Nana. Okay, I love my Nana with all my heart. She passed away a couple of years ago. Greatest grandma ever, but she wore black every single day. And I'm like, Nana, like, are you just a sad grandma? Like, I think I'm a good grandson and I make you happy, but seeing you wear black every day concerns me.
It's a color, man. Why can't black and grays? Like those are my favorite colors.
Just filter in some vibrant colors. That's all I ask.
You can wear whatever you want, Danny.
AL Central, I am taking the black team. I am taking the White Sox to win the American League pennant this year. I said that 2 years ago back in 2019, and I'm sticking to it. I think it has everything to do with their division being this year. I think the Indians got worse. I think the Twins, you could make a case they got a little bit better with their.
I think the Twins will be in the mix, but I think I agree. I agree. I picked the White Sox to win the division. I also picked them to win the pennant. We can agree on that. 7
batters before Eloy went down with his is it side or oblique? His
pectoral.
Pectoral. Thank you.
He tore his pec. He tore the booby.
I should be more mature than like torn the booby. Just made me laugh.
I knew I could get a chuckle out of you.
Torn pectoral for Eloy. Before Eloy went down, it was 6 out of their 9 hitters in their lineup were projected to hit 20 dingers.
That's good.
That's pretty good. And then Andrew Vaughn, by the way, is going to be on the opening day roster, and he's going to be in that lineup too. He's
got some juice too.
Chicago's taking it.
And what is his name? Madrigal? Is that how you pronounce it?
Nick Madrigal out of Elk Grove, California, baby.
Bro, he breaks. He's a great bat to ball contact skill guy, which those guys aren't floating around very, very much anymore.
He's
like him and David Fletcher, and like he just hits the ball hard. He finds the barrel and he finds the grass. Right? He just finds a way to get knocks. I love that.
Yep.
And don't forget about their pitchers. Come on, man. Their pitchers are unbelievable.
Yeah, the
3 of
only
their starters were in the top 10 of Cy Young voting last year.
3 of them. They're the only team in the American League with 3 pitchers that were in top 10 Cy Young
Hey,
voting in 2020.
Lance Lynn is a sleeper pick for Cy Young. He's a workhorse. He's going to give you you can get 200 innings out of him.
Oh, he's a workhorse for sure. Cy Young? I don't know.
I said dark, like sleeper.
Black, as in like, there you go, getting dark
Dude,
again.
he finished 6th last year in voting. It's not like
no, I'm not.
He's not. Don't boo boo him because it's not Giolito. Like,
what's with you and like boobies today? Like he tore his boobie and
I said boo boo. Like, don't poop all over it.
Boo boo, and you've been changing too many diapers lately, brother.
Bro, you don't even want to get into that.
Over unders for the Chicago White Sox this year is 90.5. Are you taking the over or are you taking the under?
Soaring. I got him around 95, 94, 94, 95.
Even with Eloy going to miss 4 to 5 months.
Not saying they don't need him. He makes them. I think they're the entirety of their lineup and their pitching, they're not going to miss a step.
I totally agree. So the Twins at 89.5.
Hold on, I have one more question about the White Sox.
Right.
So they have this young, like swaggy group. How do you think the dynamic between La Russa and those young kids is going to be? Like, is this going to be like just like a match made in heaven, or is he like pounding his head against the wall like, holy? Tim Anderson just hit a fly ball he thought was a home run. He threw his bat all the way to the hot dog vendor because he thought he pissed. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I love the bat flips and all that, but I think it's the thing La Russa is going to just have to get over.
That's more of a question for you. And let me phrase it this way. Okay. When you were first in the, who was your first manager? It wasn't Francona.
Bobby Valentine.
It was Bobby Valentine. Okay. So he's more of an old school guy, right?
Yeah, but the game is a little different then.
So that's what I'm asking though. So like, how different was a manager's role with Bobby versus Gabe Kapler when you were with Philly? How different were their roles?
Yeah. I mean, those are opposites of the spectrum managers.
But that's what the game's turned into. You know what I mean? So I think it's a fair question.
I agree. Bobby V's like very old school. He's still, I don't know if he's the best example of like an old school manager because he is, but he also is still okay with you being yourself. Mm-hmm. Kapler is all about just be you. I don't care what you wear on the planes. Like we don't really have like, don't wear like board shorts and a tank top on the plane, but you don't have to be in a suit. You know, you should be comfortable jeans and a collared shirt, whatever, which is pretty lax because it used to be like you had to have a tie, everything. I'm thinking of like a Bochy or somebody like old school. Mm-hmm.
I just think with Tony, he's been around the game. It's not like he's been sitting in his recliner for the past.
Right. He was with Boston in the front office.
He's been in baseball. He's been watched baseball. So it's not as if he's been removed from culture here.
I get that. But once the lights turn on, man, and you get the uniform on, he's going to revert back to what he thinks works. What he thinks works. That didn't sound right, but it was right.
This is a podcast, so we can edit whatever the hell we want to.
No, we don't know. We're just going to leave this raw. That's what we are. We're imperfect. That's what's good about it.
So you got Chicago in the AL Central.
I got them in the entire AL.
Okay. Moving on. AL East. And you know what? The Royals, by the way, don't sleep on the Royals. Made some really good moves with Andrew Benintendi. They re-signed Salvi. They re-signed Hunter Dozier. I give the Royals a whole lot of credit. They're a small market team. And by the way, there's not a lot of teams that can say small market and actually be a small market. The Royals are a true small market team. They've lost money multiple seasons and they're still being competitive. Anyways, don't want to spend too much time on the Royals unless you want to, but let's move out east. Let's stick in the AL. American League East, the Yankees are the favorite. Yankees over-under is at 97, according to William Hill. It's high, especially in a competitive division like the American League East. What say you, Brooksy?
Man, that's tough. I'm going to go just under. I still think they win the division. I think the real fight in this division is for the wild card between Tampa and the Blue Jays.
Their rotation is going to decide their fate.
Okay, here's my thing with their rotation. They're built just fine for a regular season. But the postseason is what I would be worried about because is Kluber, all right, so you paid $11 million. It will be all totally worth the $1 million, even if he only pitches 50 innings in the regular season, but then makes some big starts in the postseason and pitches well, they'll be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with their rotation is Kluber, is Tyone, are those the guys that you want pitching in the big games in the postseason?
Tyone doesn't have a whole lot of experience doing it. Kluber does, and Kluber, by the way, his career ERA in the playoffs is like 5+.
Right, and we just don't know. We just don't know with the Yankees. They look so. I thought Tyone looked good in spring. I thought Kluber looked
very good. Kluber's velocity was down. He might have
sitting around 91, 92.
And his velocity before his injuries was sitting 93 to 95.
Correct.
That's concerning.
It's concerning, and he's going to live on movement and control, which I don't know. But there's other options too. I think someone to think about is Luis Severino. Like, what is he when he comes back? Because he can be they don't need an ace. They have an ace. So I think he would be their number 2. He's got the stuff, and we talked about this before. I think his stuff is just as good as Garrett Cole's. It's just not as consistent.
Yeah. That's what makes Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom great, is that they do it year in and year out.
Every start, they're going to give you a chance to win. That's
the difference between a Hall of Famer and a really good, great, maybe even great pitcher. Luis Severino might be great, but he won't be Hall of Famer until he can do it.
And then the back end, we'll see what they get out of those guys. But I think their bullpen's okay. Nothing. I mean, is Zach Britton still hurt?
He's hurt, but he should be coming back.
Okay.
Midseason. So
I think they're fine. I think the Red Sox, what's the over under on the Red Sox? It was 78.5, but I think it changed.
Boston Red Sox, the over under is set at 79.5.
I got them over. I think they're better than people think. I don't think they're going to go to the playoffs. It'll be a fight for third in the division, unfortunately. But
over under Will Middlebrooks, Bobby Dahlbeck comments this season.
Dude,
1,050 over under.
He rakes.
Love Bobby Dahlbeck.
He rakes. He strikes out a lot. I get it, but he's also got 40 homer potential.
That's gonna be my alarm when I wake up in the morning. Is like Bobby Dahlbeck. That's how you Bobby Dahlbeck. Wake up.
Whatever.
Alarm. That's every text message I get from you, like Bobby Dahlbeck in your voice.
I'm gonna text you every time he hits a homer. I might FaceTime you every time he hits a homer.
I remember
you'll be awake. You're on the West Coast, so you're 3 hours back. So it'll be fun.
A couple months ago, this was when Brooksy's Cowboys were in the playoffs. Brooksy got so salty because it wasn't the playoffs. I'm sorry. It was playoffs.
Say, bro, we weren't in the playoffs.
Playoff implications. It was Cowboys Giants.
Yes, they had to win.
And they had to win, and they did not. And every time that the Giants scored or anybody scored, I just kept them updated. I would text them. I'd say, "Hey, Giants."
You just reminded me that I don't like you.
Even though he obviously was watching the game, I texted him just to make sure he knew the scoreboard, and he was salty as a.
I was salty because I care a lot about the Cowboys, and it's been a long. Were you serious? Do you even watch football?
Of course, I watch football. I work for Max Preps, high school football leader in the country.
I think you just watch highlights.
That's football. Dude, you don't work for CBS Sports if you don't watch football. I'll leave it at that.
I know. So who's your football team? The Raiders?
Unfortunately. So no, I don't watch football. I watch guys trying to play football.
All right. Let's do some NL.
All right, let's hit over to the NL. Start with the NL West. We'll go back out to the West Coast.
Duh.
First of all,
do we even need to spend time on this? There's two teams. No, first of all, what?
Yeah, it's a fair question to ask Padres or Dodgers for that division. It's a very fair question.
I wasn't going to say the Padres didn't have a chance.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that. I think they win 95 plus games, but I do think they finish second. I think they're a wild card team. That sucks. They're going to have more wins than just about every other.
It doesn't matter because
just get in.
Just get in.
But that's the thing with the wild card, though. We're back to the regular structure, so you're going to be in a one-game winner-take-all. But you have, if Snell and Darvish and all these guys are healthy, Lamet.
Yeah, so Lamet's
in one game. You're looking what?
Lamet is the X factor for me. So if Lamet is healthy, Dinelson Lamet, which he pitched an inning a week ago, I think it was in spring training, and he supposedly said he felt good, felt healthy.
Yeah.
If you're pitching 1 inning and being removed right after that, I question how healthy you actually are.
No, it's called a pitch count.
The dude pitched 12 pitches.
That's okay.
A bullpen session's 25 to 30.
And he threw that probably to get loose. So they have him probably at about 40 total. It's part of the progression.
I hope Nelson Lamet is fine. But I think, nevertheless, I think he's the X factor. If Lamet is healthy, that bolsters their entire rotation.
If he's your number, if a healthy Lamet is a number 3, you're sitting pretty.
Exactly. Like if Lamet is healthy, the Padres are a better team than the Los Angeles Dodgers are right now.
What?
Yep. They have a better bullpen than the Dodgers do. Their lineup is just as good. Okay, we'll go through. Okay, Padres, Dodgers. So you go through the rotation. Yu Darvish, Walker Buehler. Both really great. I don't really give either of them a leg up, personally. Blake Snell, Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw's been better over his career, of course, but at this point in your career,
you're taking Snell.
Julio Urias, Dinelson Lamet. Again, this is assuming Lamet's healthy. I think Lamet's.
Bauer.
I did forget about Bauer.
Jesus Christ, he's making $40 million.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Bauer is their 3rd, 4th best starter this year.
How do you forget about Trevor Bauer? He reminds everybody every day who he is.
Yeah, well.
If you have the Twitter machine, you know who Trevor Bauer is.
I had my left eye closed, so I had my rotation over on this side, and I had my left eye closed, so I just didn't see his name over here. You know what I mean?
Okay. By the way, I got this new whiskey. I haven't had this before. It's called you can't really see it. Sagamore Spirit Rye. I'm normally more of a bourbon guy, but someone told me this was really good. So I got it, and it's fuego, Poppy.
Yeah, what's your sip review?
Dry. It's dry, if that makes sense. Got a little bit more bite than bourbon. It's not as sweet as a bourbon. It's a rye, obviously, but it's sweeter than most ryes. I think it's really good. I'm gonna give it. We got to rate these. I'm gonna start doing ratings.
That's fine. We're not going to turn into. We're not turning into Barstool here with pizza.
We don't need to, but I can still rate things I like and not be Barstool.
Hey,
I didn't say 1 sip. Everybody knows the rules. I'd say way more than 1 sip, especially to deal with your ass. I give it a 7-1.
Okay,
which is very good. Which is very good.
Knows anytime Brooksy and I have a conference call together, or like we FaceTime or whatever, like he's drinking whiskey. I don't think it's a coincidence. This guy has to get drunk just to have a conversation with me. That's how much of a handful I am. I don't get drunk, but I do have to take the edge off, because if I come in here after a long day with the kids or work or whatever it may be, and you pop off about the Cowboys, I'm going to snap. And this is a CBS owned. Because I work for CBS Sports HQ. We can talk about that. I mean, that's what I do for a living. They own this computer. And if I throw it against the wall, I'm probably going to get in trouble. So I take the edge off, a little bourbon or rye or whatever. I picture anytime like I text you, I'll be like, hey, Brooks, do you want to FaceTime? And I see you just like pouring a little bit more. Like you go from 1 finger to 2 fingers to 3 finger. Like every single text is another finger.
I think that's the thing. I mean, we could start grading out some whiskey every time I get something new.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I'll have to get it. But for Christmas, Jenny got me, it's called Flaviar.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sign up for this membership. She got it for me for Christmas. And you can, every quarter, you get a full-size bottle of something, and you get 3 tasters. And it gets here in a couple of days, and we'll have to, I'll do a taster on the next one, and we can judge that one too. There's some pretty cool stuff.
Start taking
for you
shots
bourbon and for you whiskey people out there.
Yeah,
this isn't just about baseball.
Can you get whiskey at a ballpark?
I don't think so. Probably in Texas.
Yeah, yeah. They ain't serving it. They're finding a way to bring it in.
If you got boots on, you get a free whiskey. It's a lot of whiskey.
Padres are a better team than the Dodgers with a healthy Dinelson Lamet. I'm sticking to it.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
But
I really want it to be a rivalry, and I think it will be. But it's just
yet.
not going to be a rivalry until the Padres start beating that ass a little bit.
I agree. And they have no ground to stand on right now either, because the Padres against the Dodgers in the history, the Dodgers have beat them like 65% of the time in their history. Dodgers have World Series victories. Obviously, they had the one last year. Padres have been to 2 World Series. They haven't even won a World Series. So it's not a rivalry yet. For anyone to say it's a rivalry, it's not. The Padres have to make
I think after this year it will be.
Exactly. It doesn't take long for a rivalry to happen. By the way, I think a rivalry has more to do with what's happening in the game today than it does in history. Everybody talks about, the greatest rivalries in the game because the Dodgers and the Giants, they were rivals back in New York. That. No, like these teams are the best teams in the division. No. Hear me out.
Danny, you said that. You said that. Did
Hear
you
me
say
out.
the F word? I didn't know you had that in you.
Don't tell my
You
mom.
planned that, didn't you? You had that written down.
Don't tell my mom.
Drop this tonight.
Yeah, it felt
This
good.
morning.
It felt good too. It has more to do with the game today. You think people care that Babe Ruth was playing against Joe DiMaggio or whatever? I probably have my times. I don't know if Babe Ruth played against Joe DiMaggio or not, but like, you really think people are like at the dish in like rivalry games and are like, oh, well, the Cardinals being some dude back in 1950. No, they're thinking about like, okay, Dave Roberts, like Trent Grisham's at the plate. Dave Roberts was yelling at me for bat flipping last year. I'm going to take it to him. That's what they think of. They don't think about what happens in 1950.
I agree. So it's for the team. All right, here it is. For the team, for the players, it's right now. Did you piss me off last year? Did you show me up? Did you bean me in the neck? Like, it's the right now and the most recent memory. For the fans, it's deeper. And that's where rivalries are. I played in the Red Sox-Yankee rivalry.
Right.
It is much deeper with fans because there's turnover with players. There's not everybody's a Pedroia or a Jeter or Veritek, like Big Poppy. Those guys players don't stay on the same team that long anymore. There's a lot of turnover with free agency and all that now. But fans are fans of teams forever, and they remember everything. They remember if a Yankee fan cut them in the line at the car wash, and that they may hate them for that, and they may, you know what I mean? Like it's more than just the immediate or the right in front of you game for the fans. It could be an entire life of hating the Yankees or hating the Red Sox or whatever rivalry it is. So for the players, it's right now and what's in front of me. For the fans, much broader.
That's fair. Did you hate the Yankees?
No, I didn't hate the Yankees. I loved the rivalry though, because you could feel it in the air. You could feel it in the stadium, but that's because of the fans.
It's funny because it's funny you said that. Ramon Laureano, who we talked to last week, he said, I didn't feel that there was a rivalry, even though he got in a brawl with him last year. I didn't feel like it was much of a rivalry between Oakland and Houston because there were no fans in the stands. He said the rivalry is created from the fans.
Told you.
Support your point. So
you believe him, but you're going to question me. It's fine.
You're full.
I get it. He's got a way better arm than I have. It's fine.
I think you're full of shit. Let's move over to the NL Central.
You got a dirty mouth.
NL Central. Cardinals are the favorite. It's kind of a wonky division. I mean, there's no team that's really head and shoulders above anyone.
I got to be in a dogfight between the Cardinals and the Brewers, but I think the Cardinals
86 over under
for the Cardinals.
For the Cardinals,
what is it for the Brewers?
83.5. They're the second favorite.
Yeah, I think definitely someone can win this division with less than 90 wins.
Oh yeah,
because I was thinking Cardinals like 88, 89, 90 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's if they're healthy. My storyline. So yes, I'm picking the Cardinals to win, and I do like the over on their win loss. The storyline for this is the Cubs, and it's not about them winning. It's about them losing.
Let me scroll all the way down, and let me find that. Let me scroll.
Just listen.
Scroll 79.
You can scroll. Just listen. The storyline here for me. So they're clearly trying to extend Anthony Rizzo. We know that. They made it public for a reason. Nothing ever gets released for it's never an accident. Baez and Chris Bryant, there's nothing of an extension with those guys. Jock Peterson's on a 1-year deal. He's hot right now in spring training. If he plays well, they could ship him out. They could ship Baez out. They could ship Bryant out. They clearly want to keep Rizzo.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. I'm curious to see if Baez bounces back. He was arguably one of the worst everyday players, position players last year at 203. He walked 7 times and struck out 75 times. Not a good ratio. Yeah. Um, I comes trade deadline, it could get really interesting when those players are sprinkled to contenders. And I don't know. Then what happens to the Cubs? Are we looking at a rebuild post Theo? Possibly.
I question their decision to re-sign Rizzo. If they're going to pick one player to re-sign, why would you sign a 31-year-old first baseman who has seen his exit velocity go down each of the last 2 seasons?
You want to know why? Because him and David Ross are boys. That's my opinion.
David Ross is not the general manager.
No, he's not, but he still has still has pull when it's someone like that.
Anthony Rizzo, his hard hit percentage down each of the past 2 seasons.
No, I'm not saying I'm an advocate of extending him. I'm just saying that they're trying to.
I just think they're picking the.
Hey, if he doesn't agree to the extension, if he doesn't sign on the dotted line, they could trade him too. If you don't get rid of Yu Darvish, if you're planning on contending.
Mm-hmm. That has been my point the entire. Yes, couldn't agree more. As opposed to Javi Baez, yeah, he was bad last year. That goes without saying. He was bad last year. That being said, it's a weird year. Okay, there was a lot of players that struggled. Christian Yelich.
Correct. Yeah. But you having to get a nasal swab doesn't make you chase sliders.
It doesn't. But the year before that, he saw his hard hit percentage, sweet spots percentage, barrel percentage, exit velocity up. Every single one of those categories.
So you're blaming it on COVID.
I'm blaming it on. I'm giving him an excuse. I'm not blaming it on anything. I'm saying he had a bad 60-game stretch. I think he is the best of those 3. If you're trying to re-sign one of those 3, and by the way, Wilson Contreras is going to be a free agent, not after this year, but after the next year. Yeah. He's another option. I think if you re-sign one of those 4, Javi Baez is the guy you re-sign.
Purely off of raw talent.
And age. Anthony Rizzo's 31. Javi Baez is 28.
Anthony Rizzo is a first baseman. First baseman can play at it older.
Oh, that's okay. That's true. You're right. But Javi can kick over to second base if he loses a step.
You got to be athletic at second base too, dude.
So
if you're up the middle, you got to be athletic.
Between those 4, who would you re-sign if you were the Chicago Cubs? Rizzo, Bryant.
What's wrong with Chris Bryant all of a sudden? He was an MVP.
Well, he's struggled for a couple seasons now. I think Bryant will be fine. We've had this conversation before. I think Bryant will be fine once he gets a contract.
I do too, but if you're rebuilding, you're going to get a good amount for guys like that.
Rizzo's all up here. Or I'm sorry, Bryant. Bryant's all up here in the head.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know.
Chris Bryant.
I think there could be some Cubs playing on different teams at trade deadline. Let's move on.
NL. Who'd you have for your Central? You had the Cardinals?
Cardinals.
Okay.
I got them winning by like a game or 2 over the Brewers. It's going to be a dogfight. I like it.
NL East, move over East. I think that's going to be the most competitive baseball. And
dude, it could go so many different ways, man.
I think the team that's projected to finish in last place, the Miami Marlins, have a very good chance at making the playoffs.
They're going to be competitive. They're going to be competitive. They lack the offense.
They do not have a starting pitcher older than 25 years old on their.
Isn't that nuts?
In their starting rotation. Their oldest.
How's that for a small market team and saving money? Just pay them the minimum. You know, it's like
Miami Marlins over under at 72.5.
I got them over a couple.
And by the way, so their oldest,
just because they're pitching so good, they lack offense, dude. There's going to be a lot of guys going 7 innings, 2 hits, and getting no decision.
Hey, Brooksy, when were you born?
88.
Their oldest pitcher on their team was born in 1995, Eliezer Hernandez.
That's crazy, bro.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Who do you have taken that division of the NL East?
I'm going to actually go with the Mets.
So I'm
Mets riding with the Mets. I like the Mets. I like the culture change over there. Stevie Cohen. Those guys are going to the field expecting to win now.
Shortstops with 125 or more homers and an 8+ defensive WAR before their age 27 season. Cal Ripken Jr., Francisco Lindor. End of list.
Yeah, dude. What about Corey Seager?
We did the NL West.
I know, but I would rather have Corey Seager than Francisco Lindor this year.
I will give you that simply because Corey Seager is younger.
He's gonna get broke off too. He's in for a big year, and he's making what, 13 mil this year?
He gonna get paid.
He's about to get broke off.
Get paid. Sticking with the NL West.
Sorry, yeah, a little off tracks.
NL East. So you got the Mets over the Braves. The Braves over under is higher. They're the favorite in the NL East at 91.5 wins. But
I know, and this is a tough one for me, man, because I really like the Braves, and I also think Freddie Freeman's going to be in the top 3 for MVP voting this year. He's a clear candidate to hit 300 and have 30 and 100, mainly because Acuna, Albies, Ozuna, all these guys are in the lineup around him. He's going to have protection. He's going to have guys on base for RBI opportunities, and he's just got the shortest swing in baseball. Mm-hmm. He's a rare breed of players for this era that don't just have pop, but have bat to ball skills as well. And I think that's just because his stroke is so short.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy the amount of power that guy has with how short
with how quick it is, right? It's nuts.
It's very Josh Hamilton-esque.
Josh Hamilton did not have a short swing.
It was so quick to like his.
It was just powerful.
His bat speed was incredible.
Dude, I was in spring training with Josh Hamilton in Texas.
Is that right?
I really enjoyed him. All the crap he's been through, man.
He's gotten into some more funk, unfortunately.
I know, it sucks, man. It's a disease, but yeah. I picked up his bat, dude, and I felt like a kid picking up like my dad's bat. Dude,
who swung like the heaviest log? Who swung like the heaviest bat that you ever played with? Do you remember?
That I played with?
Like Ortiz had to swing a pretty big bat, right?
I've used his bat before. He swung a 34.5, 32.5, so it wasn't that ridiculous.
Yeah, not for his size. That's not outrageous.
Not for his size.
For comparison, I used a 33 in high school, so I'm not tooting my own horn here. I'm just kind of giving.
Well, you're a pitcher, so there's that.
Okay. All right, that was just unnecessary.
All right, dude, that's a tough one. I'm thinking. Actually, Elvis Andrus swings a big bat.
Does he?
It was like a 34-33.
Well, it doesn't mean
he's a shortstop.
Barry Bonds used like a 32, so it doesn't mean that.
Yeah, he stood on the plate too.
Right. It's really just personal preference.
You know who swung a big bat? I played against him. Alfonso Soriano.
No, I'm sure.
We were playing in Wrigley my rookie year, bro. He hit the hardest top spin line drive at me, and my life flashed before my eyes. It was my first game ever at Wrigley. He hit a ball at me. This was before StatCast. I'm aging myself. It was top spin. It was like he hit a curveball or like a slider at me, but it got to me so freaking fast, man. And I didn't catch it. It hit me in the palm, and I just like knocked it down, and then I picked it up and threw him out. But it was like I couldn't even glove it because it was just like it was moving and it was so fast. And our the next day at BP, when you're on the road, the other team's the home team is taking BP, and then the visiting team comes out and they're like getting loose on the side. And he was hitting, and one of his bats was right there. And I was like, we were sitting on the ground stretching. It was right next to me. I was like, man, this thing looks massive. And I like rolled it so I could see. It was a 35.5, 34.
Jeez.
I was like, Jesus, he's not a big guy either. And he like wiggles that thing around like it like weighed nothing.
You know what they say about your bat size? Big hands. Big batting gloves. Random question. You brought up pregame stuff. Random question. What was your favorite pregame game? So mine as a pitcher was 2-ball. A lot of people like pepper. A lot of people like glove flip. Did you have a favorite?
You don't really do that much in the big leagues, but coming up, I loved. I like pepper, but we played like glove flip. Like we played that a lot. Okay. Coaches would always yell at us though. They loved the old school coaches were like, "Play some pepper, boy."
Yeah.
Work on them hands, working them hand-eye coordination. Like, shut up.
Okay, what about the Phillies at 81.5?
Thanks for cutting me off, Dan.
Well, you're getting your accents. Whenever you get into your accents, it never goes down well.
81.5. I got them over.
Okay.
I like the Phillies. I like
Jose
their
Alvarado
lineup.
is dude.
Once you get past Aaron Nola, it's like,
Their bullpen, which was all-time bad last year,
Can we just say that their bullpen was dog shit?
it was all-time bad. But this year, it's not bad. Okay, they added Archie Bradley, who's been solid for years with Arizona, and then he went over to Cincinnati. Hector Neris, he's a splitter pitcher. I talked about splitter pitchers before. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. But when he's on his splitter and when he's on,
it's a flip of a coin is what it is. Great dude, too. He was a teammate when I was there.
Jose Alvarado, who they got from Tampa Bay.
Super sankers.
Ooh-wee.
99 with that. He throws sideways balls up there.
Oh, and Sam Coonrod, who they got from San Francisco, throws 100 miles an hour too. Sam Coonrod. They got him over.
I didn't even know they had him.
He throws 100. Now, it's flat, and it can get taken out of the park, but he throws 100 miles an hour. Brandon Kinsler coming over from Miami. Philly's bullpen's looking kind of nice. A little nice.
Yep. They're going to get plenty of innings this year.
Hey, I like it.
Oh, you're taking my my thing. It's fine. The whisper is my thing. I'm patting that. Okay. But their lineup, Bryce Harper, I think has a big year. I think he hits I think if you said an over under like 45 homers, I think Harper can get over that this year.
It's a good MVP bet, by the way. He always is a good MVP bet.
You want to talk MVP bets?
Let's talk MVP bet. Let's take a short break. Come back. Talk MVP.
Okay. Bye.
Welcome back to the Wake and Rake podcast. So we're talking NL MVP. We're talking predictions. We're talking best bets. You just mentioned Bryce Harper. It's kind of just like every year, I feel like Bryce Harper is a good bet for MVP because he's won an MVP before. So he's obviously capable of winning an MVP. And his odds, so this year he's at plus 2,000. So you bet $100 for the betting rookies like myself. You put $100 down, Bryce Harper wins. You win your $100 back plus 2,000. So that's a pretty good bet as compared to the favorite at Mookie Betts is at plus 800.
I think those are realistic numbers for Harper. I think those are finally like some fair odds, right?
He is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's the 11th favorite.
I was going to say 10th. Jeez. Okay. That's great. That's a great pick.
By the way, Christian Yelich also I've talked about Yelich before. He set career highs in hard hit percentage last year. Okay. His BABIP was outrageously low for whatever reason. He hit the ball.
Oh, it's a bad
luck season for Christian Yelich. He's right above Bryce Harper at plus 1,500. Really, really good bet.
So who's your pick?
For my MVP?
Give me an actual pick and then give me a value pick.
Fernando Tatis Jr., my friend, is my NL.
What are his odds?
Tatis he's the 4th favorite at plus 900.
And you're looking at William Hill, correct?
William Hill. Mookie Betts out is the favorite. Cody Bellinger, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis, then Ronald Acuna Jr. Those are your top 5 for William Hill.
I'm going Corey Seager.
He's right. He's 7th. He has 7 bets odds at plus 30.
So I think that's a good value.
Mm-hmm.
He was at 1. He was 12-1. I think it's 10-1 now. What does it say on there?
I just have plus and minuses, my friend. I told you I'm a rookie.
What's the plus?
Plus 1,300.
Okay. 13-1.
You like that?
Hell yeah, I like that. Dude, listen. Where's my... I wrote this down.
Where's my notes?
He hit 307 with 15 and 41 in 52 games last year.
That doesn't include his postseason too, which was
correct. He hit 328 with 8 and 20 and was a World Series MVP.
Unreal.
All right. He's hot, right? No, he just had a hot 60-game season, whatever. He was hot. Well, he's hit 346 with 8 taters in spring training. He ain't hot, my friend. He's good.
Mm-hmm. He's
good, and he flies under the radar. He's not flashy. That's why a lot of people don't really think about him as an MVP because he's not flashy. He might wear one sweatband and it's purely to keep sweat off his hand. It's not because it looks good, you know. He's gonna wear. He's just not flashy. What you see is what you get, and what you get is a badass shortstop, man. He makes the defensive plays. He's gonna rake, and he's in a lineup that's gonna have people on base. He's gonna have a lot of opportunities to drive in runs in big spots, and he's played in the big games. We saw it last year in the postseason. I like this kid a lot, and it's a contract year for him. I think he has a better contract year than Francisco Lindor. And I mean, Lindor could sign. Well, tomorrow's the deadline, right? Excuse me. So today's the deadline for Lindor. So it's, it doesn't look like he's going to sign a deal unless it happens right before the game.
Right.
But which could happen. But I got Seager having a better contract year than Lindor. I have him going off. I can see him hitting 315, 320 with 35 and 100. Like, that's very realistic for him, especially after seeing him still so locked in spring training.
I'm old enough to remember when Dodger fans were trying to ship him out for Lindor, and me being completely befuddled because I'm not going to pick between the two. I think both of them are fantastic.
Yeah.
Why would you get rid of Seager to get Lindor when essentially they're just as good of a player?
Lindor is going to give you more of a marketable player, more of like face of the game type player.
Sell more jerseys.
Seager is going to give you more of the Mike Trout type, under the radar, just comes in, punches his clock, works hard, plays really well, but he's not going to be like in Gatorade commercials and on GQ magazine. Like, that's not his thing. He wants to go home, play with his dogs, hang out with his family, and hit taters in the show.
Not a bad life. And I'll Cy Young. The favorite at plus 400 is Jacob deGrom. Right behind him, Trevor Bauer, plus 650. Max Scherzer right behind him at plus 700. Who is your value bet? Who is your prediction for National League Cy Young?
My prediction is chalk. I mean, it's DeGrom. He's that good. My value pick at 20-1 is Blake Snell.
I like Blake Snell. He was my first. So I did 2 fantasy drafts so far. He was the first pitcher I chose in both of those drafts.
I think him getting out of from under the analytical umbrella of Kevin Cash and the front office of the Rays is going to be a good thing for him. Mm-hmm. If he's getting 2 extra innings to start, we look up and he's getting around 200 innings.
Blake Snell won a Cy Young, and they wouldn't even let him pitch through the second time through the lineup.
Here's the thing with the Rays, like, they don't let their starting pitchers play once the street lights come on. They make you come home.
Yeah, and their whats have tightened in previous years. Like when Blake Snell won Cy Young, it wasn't that tight.
So you can drop an F-bomb, but you can't say asshole. All right, got it.
I have
you Cali kids, man.
I have standard.
You're softer than puppy shit in the rain. I'll tell you that.
That's such a Texas thing. They're softer than puppy shit in the rain. Let me drink my whiskey here. I need a break.
Hey, Mama, get the house or get the horse out of the yard. Biscuits and gravy are ready. Come on.
So my Cy Young is also Jacob deGrom. Like, he won back-to-back Cy Youngs, and last season he was top 3. I mean, top 2. He finished second, I believe. Jacob deGrom.
I mean, he's just that good.
Yeah. Let's kick it over to the American League. Who is your value bet for the American League MVP, and who is your prediction for the AL MVP?
I just have one pick. I'm going Aaron Judge this year. I'm going a healthy Aaron Judge.
Man, we're too similar. And by the way, I was wrong. DeGrom was top 3 last year, not top 2. But nevertheless,
I'm going Aaron Judge. I think Aaron. Do we see a healthy Aaron Judge is top 5, maybe 3 player in baseball. Yeah. I'll say top 5.
I said top 3 the other day. I think when he's healthy, you can't really argue against it personally.
I also have him as a home run leader this year.
Okay.
He hit 52 his rookie year in 2017. I have him hitting one more than that at 53. I have him hitting 53 this year. And leading the league. What do you got on that?
I'm trying to find his over-under for you.
It's probably like 45, 46. Just based off of health.
It's not even. Wow. That's shocking to me. So Trout is plus 1,200 as the favorite. Aaron Judge, 1, 2, 3, 11th.
To lead homers?
Yes.
That's all. That's just because he's been hurt. And they're like, oh, he's going to get hurt.
Him and Giancarlo, the 2 Yankees, at plus 2,000 for home run leaders.
Wow. I like that pick.
That's a good value.
Hey, he hits the ball to right way better than he pulls the ball.
Yeah, and right field's
like
how feet.
It's like Williamsport.
Yeah. It's like,
Trust me, I went deeper right there. It's short.
And so you got Aaron Judge. I also have Aaron Judge as my
Love that.
His
Love
per
that.
162. You go home run, RBI has been one of the best in the game since he made his debut. I don't think you could argue against that. How about your American League Cy Young?
Okay, I got two. I think Giolito wins it. My value pick is Hyungjin Ryu. Now that's like it was 18-1. I don't know what it is now. I don't know. I mean, he's got a career 2.9. Last couple of years he's been under 3. He's got a better offense there in Toronto now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
You just
man.
didn't want to pick Garrett Cole. You're trying to be different, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole, yeah. I went to Grom, so I couldn't go I couldn't go chalk all around here. But I do like Ryu as a value pick. He's a sleeper for me. Do I think he's got a great chance to win it? No, I think he does have a chance to win it. Something you can just kind of like a little sprinkle bet, just throw a few bucks on it, and if you hit, you win a good amount of money.
Yeah, I mean Garrett Cole, you could throw $100 on and get $350 if he wins. It's not a great value pick, but him and Bieber are the two favorites. Plus 350, plus 375.
Giolito 3.
Giolito 3 at plus 500.
Yeah, I like that. With that offense too, ooh, nasty. Big pitching ninja guy too.
Oh yeah, everybody's.
We gotta bring Rob on.
We'll bring him back on.
We'll bring El Ninja back.
We'll bring him back.
That's not the correct Spanish word for that, but
we'll be back. We're gonna have Brooksy's best bets for opening day next. I'm not gonna mention what just happened offline, but something happened offline and I can't speak of it, but that's why my face is red for those watching on YouTube. You can catch this podcast on YouTube across. We got it on Spotify podcast. It's going to be available on any kind of platform you want it to. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook at Wake and Rake Pod. Brooksy's best bets for opening day.
I have a lot of picks. Now, locks, day one is pretty tough for locks just because you're like, what are you going to get? Number one. Number two, there's a lot of nerves in opening day. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they've been playing for a month, but it's not the same. They're playing in the big league stadium. These games matter. So it's tough to bet on these on day one. But I think the first one I have 3 that I feel like are locks. I'm going to go Indians versus Tigers. You got Bieber. You know what he's capable of. He'll have it locked down. I think he shoves against. I mean, these are 2 offenses that aren't very good. Let's be honest.
Matthew Boyd going for Detroit.
Yeah, he's pretty good too. And these are 2 offenses that aren't very good. So 7.5 is the over under, and I am going to lock in the under on that game.
And the over under.
And I'm taking the Indians to win. If you're looking at the money line,
what was that over under?
7.5. All right, moving on to my next one. Tampa Bay Rays versus Miami Marlins. I am taking the Rays to win. So money line. And then 7.5 as well. And I'm taking the under. It's Tyler Glasnow versus Alcantara. 2 guys that throw very hard. They have nasty stuff. And I think it's a pitcher's duel through the 6th or 7th inning if Kevin Cash allows it. We'll see. But Glasnow's their ace. He's their guy. It'll be on lockdown. I don't think the offenses are going to do too much against them. I like the under there. I could see like a 3-1, 3-2 type game.
That will be at Lone Depot Field, newly named Lone Depot Field in Miami, by the way. It's no longer Marlins Park, Lone Depot Field.
Thank you for that tidbit, Danny.
You're welcome.
My last one, New York Mets versus the Washington Nationals. Pitchers duel, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer. Wow. This is going to be a fun one. This is a night game. This should be fun to watch. Night game here on the East Coast. Not so much for you. That sucks.
Day game.
But hey, whatever. You choose to pay those taxes in California. The over under set at 6.5. that's low, right? That's super low. 8.5 is pretty normal. I'm taking the under of 6.5, and I'm taking the Mets to win. I think DeGrom shoves. I think he goes 7+, maybe 8. Scherzer throws well. This is day one. I think aces will dominate, and on the first game of the season, they're a little ahead of the hitters, especially when it comes to nerves. DeGrom shoves. I think it ends up being someone hitting a big homer or something late, and it being like a 3-2, 3-1, 2-0 even. And I think the Mets bullpen comes in and actually shuts it down at the end. How about that? So those are my best bets for opening day 2000. Well, let's say 2021, not 2021. That doesn't sound right. 2021. Here we go.
Yeah, we're done with 2020.
Thank God.
Kind of funny about Jacob deGrom real quick. His velocity has increased average velocity on his fastball increased each of the past 4 seasons. By the way, it's already been a Cy Young almost every single one of those seasons. Velocity has increased each and every season. And then in spring training this year, he was throwing 101, 102 miles per hour, which is higher than his average has been each of those previous 4 seasons, which
normally guys throw harder when the season starts. So
the GOAT is getting goatier. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievable.
So that's why I picked Cy Young.
Let's transition into buy or sell. This will be our last segment of the show. Before we head into opening day, buy or sell. Brooks is going to tell me which of these little factoids he's going to buy or sell. Number 1, Joey Gallo. I stole this from you, by the way. Joey Gallo will have more home runs than the Texas Rangers will have victories in 2021.
That's so brutal. I said that as a joke. I didn't really mean it. So I will say, so the answer is sell. I think Joey can push 50 homers. I think he hits up like mid to upper 40 homers, but I do think the Rangers will win north of 60 games.
That over-under for the Rangers is at 67.5.
Yeah, I got him like 65.
If Gallo doesn't hit 60 plus, you're not liking this.
That'd be amazing. But if he did, and then, so what if they were tied going into the last day at like 60? And then he hit a homer in the first inning and they just threw the game.
They'd bench him.
Bench him? No, they just lose on purpose so he could actually do it.
No, the team wouldn't want that.
Yeah, the team would love it.
Well, the players would love it. Or in the front office, the memes.
Bullshit. You know how the draft works, right?
That's a good point.
At that point, what's the point of having 61 wins and 60?
It's a great point. Number 2, Shohei Ohtani will have more pitching appearances than he will have home runs.
Ooh, that's good, Danny.
Yeah, I came up with some good.
Ooh, it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
Because what?
I'm a thinker. Hey, there's a lot going on in this head of mine.
You think he makes 25 starts?
No.
Then he has more homers. I think he has 25 homers.
If he's pitching,
I think he has 20 starts.
If he's pitching once a week, I don't see him hitting that 25 benchmark personally.
20 though, right?
Yeah, I think he makes 20.
Yeah,
as long as he can stay healthy.
He hits more than 20 homers.
Okay, buy or sell.
So buy. Well, that wasn't a buy or sell. You said.
I said buy or sell. Shohei Ohtani will have more pitching appearances than home runs. And you said
so sell.
Yeah,
I got you.
Easy.
My attention span is very short. Go.
Number 3, a team that did not make the playoffs last year will make the postseason this season. Buy or sell. A team that did not make the postseason last year will
buy. The Mets.
Okay. I like the Angels too there. Number 4.
You think the Angels make the postseason?
My playoff
wild card?
For the American League, I have Yankees, White Sox, A's, Angels, Astros. 3 teams coming out of the American League West.
Jesus. You don't think Toronto can do it?
They can.
You're just a California. Got it. Next.
Yeah. 4. Speaking of the Blue Jays, Vladdy G will lead the Blue Jays in home runs this season. Buy or sell?
Sell. George Springer.
Second to last one, Joey Gallo will have more strikeouts than Jacob deGrom this year. Going back to your Rangers. We're just shitting on the Rangers today. So to give you a little bit of context, DeGrom typically in the Cy Young
like
season,
180.
he has like 230 plus strikeouts.
Yeah. So no, I think.
Gallo has had a 200 plus strikeout season before.
Yeah, I know. I think Joey's under that this year. I think DeGrom has more, and I think DeGrom leads the league in strikeouts.
Number 6, final one. Will Middlebrooks will do the naked mile if Bobby Dahlbeck hits 30 taters this year.
30? Hell 30. No. He's hitting 30 for sure, dude. Although it's not too cold here in Florida, so I could probably pull it off.
So you will do the naked mile if Bobby Dahlbeck hits what, 50?
Mile? Bro, I would have to walk. I can't run a mile. I have metal holding my leg together.
You can do a
mile. I can't run, so it's going to be... Can I do it at night?
You can do your dad walks, your long 3-mile dad walks.
You said a mile. What am I going to walk a mile? Then someone pick me up and I put clothes on and finish? Come on, dude. No, I'm not doing anything naked. It's Florida. You know, alligators and snakes out there.
You got any bold predictions before we send everybody off?
Bold predictions. The Cubs clean house and rebuild. And we'll see Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, and Jock Peterson in different threads come August. There's my hot take.
Padres White Sox 2021 World Series. I already placed my bet.
How much you bet?
Don't worry about how much I bet.
Come on, dude. We're talking. Come on, we're family here.
$50.
Nice.
I'm not
to win what?
I placed the White Sox to win the pennant.
Oh,
Padres.
got you.
Padres, White Sox. I've been following that team, both of those squads, for years now. What they did with their farm system, they did it organically. They did it through international signings. I knew that they would have an opportunity to make some noise in this offseason. San Diego's like, we're not a small market team. No matter what you say, whatever you say about our market, we're not a small market team. They're going for it. They're going to beat the Dodgers in the postseason. Dodgers will win the division. Great. Good for them. They will lose to the Padres in the postseason this year. White Sox will get Eloy back. They'll be healthy. You got White Sox, Padres, World Series.
I'll go 50-50 with you there. I'll go White Sox, Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers repeat. Boring.
That's not boring at all. You know how hard it is to repeat? That's badass if they can pull that off.
That's what I'm saying. Boring pick.
Hey, man. Episode 1. This was a success. Yeah. Happy opening day.
Yeah.
2021. Place your bets. Make some money.
Yeah.
Let's have fun, man. I can't wait to do this again with you, Dan.
Yeah. Let's do it again. Until next time, party people. Adios.
See you.